We're waiting to see if this is going to work. Stream is starting. Is it gonna work? Do we have audio? Seems we have audio of some sort. Someone's showing up in the chat. Hello. So this is just going to be the continuation of what we started doing last night, I think it was last night, when we were testing all the relays on this horrible old Boomlift Skylift PC board. And I've ordered new relays for it, and however, that's not the only thing that's wrong with this, most likely. We're gonna take a look on the... What are my cameras doing? There we go. We're gonna take a look on the underside of this, see if we can clean up some solder joints, and generally clean this thing up a bit. Well, that's gone wrong. That's gone all wrong. Come on, there we go. So I want to focus on this area for starters, because this chip really looks very sad. We can take a look under the microscope just to get a hint at what we're working with. It shouldn't be too bad. No, it's just... There's clearly been some water issue going on at some point here, but we do have potting compound all along the legs of the chip. So I'm positive, like we have potting compound around here, I'm hoping the chip is going to be fine. And judging from how well this board has actually worked historically, I don't think that chip has actually failed, which is good because it's a TCA 965, which is an old chip which you can't get properly anymore. You have to get some Chinese reused or clone or something off of eBay, which takes forever and is not guaranteed to be high quality. So we're just going to be taking that chip off. I want to take a picture with a camera of that area so that we can rest assured that we actually put the chip back in the right way, and so that we know what we had when we started. Let's see, I haven't used this camera for this before. Let's hope that this is going to work. That looks like a decent quality picture. Yeah, that's got us some decent documentation, so we know where we started out and all this, just as a backup in case we forget. And now it's just a question of starting to disassemble, so I'm gonna note that the pin 1 marking is facing the little capacitor down there actually. So we want to clean up underneath the chip. And oh god, which one is it? It's this one. We want to clean up underneath it and make sure there's no horrible corrosion going on, which we can't fix. And this is a bit of a bummer because the adjustment arm of the microscope there is completely in the way, so I can't actually get this up as far as I need it to go. exciting. There we go, much better. So one says we can't stick around, that's okay. Well, I'm not expecting anyone to stick around for this. This is not going to be an exciting stream. We're just going to be literally doing my job. So, at least the solder joints don't look completely ruined. We have a bunch of potting compound all over, which we're going to have to scratch away at. Because this like waxy potting compound really does a number on the desoldering pump. It just clogs it up like crazy. We don't need to get too much of it off, just enough so that the solder joints aren't completely covered in it. So this chip has been reflowed before. Now I can see that. These are reworked solder joints. But since there's so much corrosion on the top side of the board, I really want to get this chip off the board so that we can have a look underneath and make sure it's not just a huge corrosion track between any of the pins. I think this might be analog ICs, like some kind of voltage reg control or something or the other. Haven't actually looked up a data sheet. So they could be reasonably sensitive to tracking underneath a chip. Stupid solder ball. Go away. Ugh, yuck. There you go. Big screen VGA for you. Ugh, this is such horrible stuff. There we go. Now I think we could actually be well served doing the soldering of a microscope as well, because I don't want to ruin the pads on this. I want to be really careful actually desoldering this. So we're going to need a fume extractor. Let's not blow our fan. That works. And let's see if we can actually use the fact that we can tilt this whole thing to give us slightly better access to everything. Yoop. Oh god, this is horrifying. This is completely horrifying, but you make do. Tilting this microscope for this application might not be the smartest of things. But we do need to have a pretty straight on angle for the desoldering pump to actually work. Where are my pliers? There are my pliers. It's freezing cold in here. 15C. Okay, let's see if it's going to be good enough. Oh yeah, works fine. Oh, doing this under a microscope like this is actually excellent. It's a bit annoying to focus my eyes properly, but compared to doing it without the microscope, this actually works very, very well. Because it's very easy to accidentally lift pads with a desoldering pump on old single layer PCBs like this. So actually seeing how the solder is flowing makes it a lot easier. Moo. Oh, that's the sound of this thing getting clogged. Again, to those very few people who are just joining us, this is not going to be a particularly exciting stream. We're just going to be cleaning this board up, going through it. There we go. I think all those pins are reasonably desoldered. I really don't want to ruin this chip. But alas, we have no choice but to pry it off the board, since it's stuck down by the potting compound on the top as well. So we just have to very carefully lodge it free with a screwdriver. Let's get rid of that capacitor, because else we can't access it to pry. What's that? What value are you? We could just replace this cap while we're at it. 0.1 micro, I think. I might have something similar lying around. But it's a film cap. It's, well, since this has been exposed to moisture, that capacitor could be in bad shape, because plastic does allow water to seep through. Giovanni Prada is saying hello. Hello, Giovanni. Yeah, I'm not liking what I'm seeing here. Let's have a look on the microscope, the tilted microscope. So we do have had water ingress underneath the chip, and there has been possibly conductive paths forming on the underside of that chip, which could potentially cause intermittent issues. And it's probably a similar thing going on the board. We'll tilt this back. If we have a look down there, if we can get it in focus. That's not looking happy. Is that actually moisture? No, it's just shiny potting compound. So yeah, this is not what you want to see. So we're going to be cleaning this up. Might replace these two guys just because, yeah, they're not looking happy. hoping this potentiometer is working. But let's start by focusing on the chip, because that's the most important part. I wish I had my rubber gloves, but I'm completely out of rubber gloves. Someone asked alcohol soaking incoming. Now we're gonna start by scratching. We need to be careful because the legs on ICs like this are prone to breaking off right at the edge of a chip when they get old and weak. That's looking pretty happy. How's the side? Yeah, we want to clean between the legs there. Now, why is the white balance on this microscope camera a complete cock? Give me a second, I want to see if I can fix this. Okay, we have a magical button that says one push. Well, I've made it a bit better. Okay. Yeah, that looks a bit more natural. Someone says an ultrasonic cleaner would be useful here. Yes and no. When it comes to these old liquid damaged chips, it's not always productive to actually use an ultrasonic cleaner because they will sometimes actually leak water into them. So you can have chips failing because you put them in an ultrasonic cleaner. If this thing wasn't so old, I wouldn't hesitate putting this in a cleaner. Not that I have one, but I wouldn't mind. But since this thing is old and it has been exposed to water, I'd much rather just mechanically clean it out. Just because it's a chip we can't easily replace. I can't just go to the junk bin and take out another TCA 965 because they're old and uncommon. There's a reason they haven't been exchanged on these boards, despite all the other chips being replaced. I just want to have a look underneath the potting compound here to see if there's any horrible corrosion of the legs. They look pretty happy actually. So that's good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I should point out it would be ideal to replace this chip. I would prefer replacing this, but that's just going to take an incredibly long time to get one, if we even can get one. I haven't found this on sale from any reputable retailer at all. That side is looking a bit happier. The conformal coating has done a reasonable job for the most part on this, which I'm very thankful for. This side is actually looking pretty good up along the edges of the legs. I don't think we actually need to give that too much attention. No. That's pretty good. Someone's asking, are you going to conformal coat the board at the end of repair? I should. I don't have any suitable materials to coat this with for the time being, but I think I'm gonna put some white goop on top of key parts of the board. For instance, this IC I'm probably going to just put a gob of white silicone-y stuff on. Just to make it a bit more resilient than just pure raw exposed IC legs and solder joints. Yeah, that's some nasty looking stuff coming out of there. Well, you guys are so far out of focus. So that's in focus for you. That's reasonably in focus for me, so we can do that. This is starting to look good enough. This is never going to be perfect, of course, but we're starting to get rid of most of the contaminated conformal coating, which might be providing a conductive path between some of the legs of the IC. So I'm happy with that. That IC is going to be happy now. So let's put that in a safe spot for the time being. Iron Philip says he's able to stick around, and that's very nice, Iron Philip. Good luck repairing that guitar. Someone says the TCA 965 is £41 on eBay. Jesus Christ. That's very expensive. So let's move on to cleaning this horrible mess up. Yuck. It's so cold. It's 15C in here. I have 1.35 kilowatt heater aimed right at my feet and I'm still freezing. So I want to get rid of that big gob of conformal residue. Hopefully we can just kind of screwdriver it out of existence. Because we can't really access it with a blade. There's too much stuff going on. Maybe we are forced to do it with a blade because that's not coming easy. Come on. Come on. We can screwdriver that part. Do I have any more suitable tool for this? No, I do not. Just the way the components are laid out around this part of the board makes it really difficult to access with a blade. It would be nice to have like an X-Acto knife or something, but I'm too cheap to buy those. Come on. For what it's worth, this stuff is stuck down quite well. Almost there. Okay. That went reasonably well. There we go. Yeah, that's looking pretty okay. Looking pretty okay. Yeah, time for some alcohol. Probably want to do this jumper wire as well. It looks quite corroded and horrible. Yuck. Someone said something about marijuana smoke. I have no idea what you're on about, man. Okay, that's looking pretty happy. So let's deal with those two resistors. They are brown, black, orange, so that's going to be 1 0 0 0 0, which is going to be 10k. Let's just desolder that and verify that it actually is 10k. Do I even have any 10ks? I think I've used up most of my 10ks, so if we're 8, we're pretty much out of luck. I might have some form of 10k. I have 100k. Ah, 10k. And the other one is brown, blue, red, which is gonna be, is that 6800, 6k8? Yeah, well, I'll verify. I'm so bad with my resistor color codes. So let's see, we have green, blue, red, gold. Green, blue, red, gold. Hey, 5k6. $5k6. Do I have 5k6? I hope I have 5k6. I have 5 something something. 5601. I think this is a 5k6. I need to get another wire wound resistor kit off of eBay. The last one I bought was like 10 years ago. 5k6. And yeah, that is a 10k, I'm sure. Let's just verify because I'm a dummy. Yeah, it's 10k. So we'll just desolder those. Someone said brown, blue, red. Is that brown? No, it's green. It's green. So that's full of conformal coating. but I'm just gonna deal with it. Ugh. That's so bad for the desoldering pump. They just clog up instantly with the conformal coating. Yeah, that is going to be a resistor desoldered. And it's stuck on the conformal coating. So that's a 10K. It's probably fine, but it's all corroded and horrible, so I don't want it to be there. Yeah, it's fine. Clean up underneath there. And now the hole is completely clogged. Tweezers. Cross, where even is that hole? Oh, annoying. Oh, that's way too big. Maybe we can just force our new resistor through that. Yeah, we can. We can. So the 10K is the one that's closer to the IC, the 5K6 one's one further away, so I'm just gonna undo the 5K6 as well. Ugh. There it goes. Get rid of a contaminated conformal coating. And give it a wash. There's so much contamination around here. I'm just gonna clear out some trash in the general vicinity. While we have the parts removed, it just makes sense. These other resistors around there aren't in that bad condition. The parts around here look pretty okay. But there's a bunch of crud around them. Okay, that's looking a lot happier. So the 10K was closer to the chip. And the 5K6 was further away. There we go. Fresh new resistors. Let's take a look at right under the microscope as we solder them. So the trace looks fine. I don't think we need to reinforce anything. Oh, come on. That's looking pretty okay to me. Snippety snappity. And we have a bunch of molten conformal coating around the legs of the actual IC. Getting rid of that is not going to be practical because we run too big a risk of damaging the traces. So we're just going to have to put the IC back. On top of that, there's no way around it, no practical, economical way around it. And let's see if we have a replacement for that. Possibly water damage capacitor as well. I think I have something. We should have something. I have a bag of 0.1 mic ceramics upstairs. Otherwise, where did the original go? There we go. I want to see what's printed on it. volts. Something micro 1. It could actually be something printed there, so let's just measure it with a meter to see what it's supposed to be. 100 nano. 100 nano, 100 volt rated. 100 volt rating is not going to matter because this is a 24 volt thing, so we're fine with a 50 volt cap. And I have 50 volt ceramics. Let's just have a quick look at the circuit. Yeah, all of the bypass caps are identical. 0.1 microfarad, 100 volt rated, so using a 50 volt part is not going to be a problem. It's just decoupling for a chip that probably runs off of like 5 volts or something of that order. We'll put the chip in before the cap though. Someone in chat is saying, so it wasn't just bad relays. I look at this board. There's everything wrong with it. There's not a single thing that's not wrong with this board. It's a bad board. Alright. Let's just repot this with some white mounting glue. This is like the kind of stuff you attach bathroom tiles and stuff with. So we can just put some of that under the chip, and that's going to make it harder for water to get in underneath, cause issues in the future. Might make a bit of a mess if it wants to go down into the holes and get into the solder, but it's going to be fine, like so. Give you guys a good view of the process. There we go. That's down as far as it's going to go, and it's covered with glue underneath, making it harder for water to make conductive paths across that. I will put a new cap in there as well. Come on. Like so. Solder that in place, and we're going to be good to go. I am curious to know what the TCA965 does actually. Since we're replacing capacitor with a lower voltage rated one, I want to make absolutely sure there's like no voltage doubling or something like that going on, so we're just gonna Google that. Right, if I just show my home address, oh well. TCA965. Window discriminator. What are the absolute maximum voltages we can see around this thing? What a weird data sheet this is. 30 volts, 7 volts. Supply voltage up to 30 volts. Yeah. This is going to be fine. This is going to be fine. So let's just solder that in place. Okay, we're pretty much done with that. I want to get that bloody camera in focus. Because you guys are not in focus when I'm in focus. That's as in focus as you're gonna get. Okay, good. So that's that IC taken care of. Hopefully that's going to be a bit happier. That could have been causing some issues since we did have considerable corrosion problems there. So that just leaves everything else. So we weren't going to touch the failure right here because that needs to be dealt with when I get my new terminal blocks for this. We should deal with the other end of this wire though, because that's not soldered very well at all. Oh, come on. That's not looking too happy. So we'll just get rid of all the old solder and put it back properly. We have like an old repair going there. We're not going to need that anymore since the trace has evaporated. Unnecessary. Oh wow, that pin there looks completely horrible as well. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. So we'll put some fresh solder on this. At least it did use a nice rubber wire. I don't mind the wire the guy who repaired this last used. It's a decent wire. Bunch of stuff there. Let's get some flux and reflow that in place. There we go. Now that's actually there. Let's solder the other pin as well. I don't think we need to repair that trace. It looks pretty good. Nice and shiny. These guys don't look happy either. They'll probably work, but they're looking worn. As if they might fail soon, so I'm going to redo them while we're here. like so. The reason I run some solder down that way is because it's common for the trace to break right where it turns from a trace to a pad. So putting a bit of extra soldering along the length of a trace is going to be providing some extra reliability. Yeah, and we have a horrible worn out pad over here. That's not good. That runs to a jumper which runs over here, I think. I think those two connect together. If they do, we're going to run a new jumper because the pad here is no longer attached to the board, so I want to jumper that straight to over there. Let's just make sure that's where the jumper's going. Yeah, I'm not going to see the meter, but I promise I won't lie to you. Yeah, that's connecting straight over there. Why is that not? Yeah. So I definitely want to run a new jumper from this pad to the other end of that jumper. What wire can we suitably use for that? Some thin PC power supply wiring, I think. Is this going to work? Yeah, just about. So if we try to jump that from there to there, yeah, that's going to work. Oh, that's another problem right there. How's that look under the microscope? Not happy. Someone's not soldered that right. So let's fix that before running a jumper wire over it. What is that even? It's a diode across one of the relay coils. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Back in a sec. Hallå, ja. Okay, we're back. Well, it was just a customer calling about another job. Was working on a jacuzzi type thing which was in awful condition, just not worth repairing. And we have some paperwork to sort out about that. This area of a board looks no fun. Someone's asking how old is this thing? The lift this board comes out of dates from 1991. What were we doing? We were fixing this bad soldering here. This might actually be working, but it looks ugly. The pad isn't attached to the board anymore. We want to push that down. So let's just get rid of the old solder for starters. My poor desoldering pump. Okay, so the trace is not broken. I want to desolder the other finger as well. I should not be using a precision tip for this. But a precision tip is very good for boards like this because since the tip is tiny, it's much easier to get the solder to suck up without moving around too much, which damages the PCB. Oh, hello. That's not okay. Not a pure failure, but whoever soldered that did not do a good job. Let's just reflow that right away. This is why boards like this are so bad. They just turn into a rabbit hole where you just find issue after issue after issue. Oh god, this feels horrible. That's better. And the problems never stop. So now I want to poke that pad down so that it's actually resting against the board. Like so. And we can even fold the component like down. Yeah. There we go. Now it's actually going to stick in place. Fume extractor. There we go, that's that area cleaned up to a standard which is, well, somewhat reasonable. Not good, but somewhat reasonable. Here are more issues. Someone's had to fix some explosion, but these jumpers seem to be decently soldered. Ugh. Yeah, I have no qualms with that. Let's redo that. It looks a bit dodgy. Oh, there's the component leg just sitting around in the solder joint. Okay. I don't like how proud these solder joints are. I'm just kind of randomly looking around now. Here you can see what happens when you don't take care of a desoldering pump. You lose standalone pads. So these are pads which have not been connected to anything, but they've been lifted when someone's desoldered. That I see. Yeah, it's like that everywhere. That's a lifted pad, but the solder joint looks happy, so I don't care. Blech. Ew. Yeah, this is gonna need some attention. Ugh. Yuck. So this is actually not broken. I can see it's making good connection, but I don't like the very grey solder. The fact that they've ignored soldering a pin. This is just not good quality workmanship right here. Whoever's done this has used some really bad solder. That solder joint might actually be failing slightly. Yuck. I wonder who's been working on this thing. It's not one of the techs I know. Like, when you live in a small place like I do, and you're in a business this specific, you can always tell who's been working on a thing just by looking at the solder joints. Like, we all have our signature solder joints. But I don't know who this is. Could also be really old rework from someone who's just not active anymore. I like to think I'm the one who's most picky about workmanship quality on these things. I'm also the cheapest, which is not really a good combination. Well, it's good for the customer, not good for me. Solder piece away. Someone's asking in the chat, why does this board look like it was covered in milk? It's covered in conformal coating because it's basically used outside, and Is this working? Come on. Okay, so... Okay, we're back. Well that's interesting. Well, I have to go take a piss anyway, so I'll be back in a sec. Let's make BRB screen. There we go. Beautiful. We are back. Back to work. And we even have audio. It's amazing how we can't get through one stream without having audio issues. Completely amazing. What were we doing? I was sorting it in solder joints. Oh god, I have too much feedback going. Okay. Well, we're looking at something over here? No, I don't think so. Repairs everywhere. So many repairs on this board. Yeah, so the original mission was to run a jumper wire. Someone says we were talking about the milk board. Indeed, milk board. Yeah, we're just... we're gonna run a jumper on the milk board now. Why is this out of alignment again? We're gonna run a jumper from there to there. Zoomy outy. There we go. And we have our jumper wire cut and ready. Oh yeah, I was telling you about why this board looks so horrible, and that's because it's conformally coated and full of corrosion because it's well, water damaged everywhere. And the owner just wants to repair it. And repair it and repair it, and I can't but oblige. It's my job after all. So well, tin the new jumper wire. Might just leave the old one there as well. It doesn't do any harm just being connected. Salt in one end, put fresh solder on here, put some flux, and put the new wire on. This is going to be left-handed soldering. Always interesting. There we go. And we're going to jump this to... yeah, that's a good spot. Just somewhere along the trace in the other end. So we'll scratch off some coating. Tin that, and we'll be good to go. Getting another phone call. Hallå ja, jag är live på kamera. Phone calls all day long. And tin the wire. Flux the board, reflay the wire. Where's my flux? There's my flux. The reason I'm jumping this wire on the underside of the board is because the traces are damaged at the ends where the original jumper is, and if I were to run a new wire, I'd have to strip it really fine, just run it along the trace to get a decent, reliable connection. So it's just a much quicker way to do this, like this, even though it's ugly. It's still the better option, all things considered. What more do we have to do? I'm just looking at the board right now, trying to see if I spot any obvious horrific things. Hey, we were repairing. Oh yeah, we were repairing this area here. That's what we were doing. So that's the one I soldered. This is the one we were repairing. That's right. Because yeah, it looks like this. It looks like this. I'm gonna need the extractor fan. Cue horrible noise. I just want to get rid of a bunch of this solder. It's just such a big mess. No, don't short out, stupid fan. What is that? There was like an extra pad on there. Okay. That could actually have been causing issues. Yeah, that's all. I'm going to desolder for the time being. Someone in the chat is asking, AD in the chat is asking, how's your repaired boiler working? It's working perfectly fine, actually. Not an issue thus far. But we haven't had another power outage yet, so we'll have to see how those resistors work when it's if we have like a bunch of intermittent power failures in a row. That's going to be the real test, but I think they're going to be fine. I think it's going to be fine. Off-grid Aussie Prepper trademark says, oi oi oi, oi, oi mate, oi mate. Oh, this is so horrible. Let's just Q-tip that before we do anything else. Q-tips and booze. Bathe it in alcohol. Bathed in wine and wrapped in silk, like Alice Cooper said. I probably got that quote wrong. Off-grid Aussie Prepper says, yeah, oi mate, bait time I caught your live stream. Yeah, I suppose I don't usually stream at a good time for Australia. It's usually a lot later, so it's like 8 in the morning in Aussie land, something like that. Let's try. But I mean, you guys probably have EV blog or something. Journey Jacob is saying, hello, what's up today? And we are repairing this horrible heap of cancer. That cleaning did absolutely nothing. It's apparently 1:24 in the morning in Australia. That's even later than I thought. Christian Iverson says, Have you seen Dave's rant on Patreon? Crazy, dude. Yeah, the Patreon thing is a big problem. I have lost about half of my channel income due to people leaving Patreon. It's a really big issue. We'll have to see what comes out of it. But yeah, the investment money they took, shouldn't have done that. They got greedy. And greed rarely leads to good things. Although everyone should donate to the channel and do super chats and whatever, give me money. Journey Jacob says it might be conformal coating again or realithic flux. This board is conformally coated. Some horrible lacquered stuff as well. So we can't really get rid of it without just mechanically rubbing it off, and that's just basically impossible. Folding that leg over to give it a bit of a better chance of actually working. Someone says donate bitcoins. I actually have like a bunch of different cryptos from last bubble in, what was it, around Christmas, but I haven't paid any attention to any of that for a long time. I think cryptos have probably run their course. Everyone was expecting another bubble like around Christmas this year, but it didn't happen. This fan is horrible. Shiny, nice and shiny. Ugly but better. Oh god, now the chat is just turning into one big crypto thing. Don't do it. Okay, how's this look now? It is ugly due to the burnt conformal It never ends. It never ever ends. That's a bodge wire that's not soldered down properly. I told... Oh, hang on. That's like a pad that's underneath the conformal coating, so that's been there since the factory. So this board has been missing pads since it was new. I told the customer this was gonna be expensive and horrible. I told him this was a rabbit hole, but he wanted the job done, so we're gonna be doing it. This horrible extractor fan is shaking the entire microscope. The rest of the solder joints here actually look pretty okay. They're ugly, but I'm not seeing any signs to suggest they might be broken. That's good. What's this? Wire got in store for us. We'll just redo that entirely. That was definitely not making a reliable contact. No way. That was so far from okay as you can get. Some wire. Where's the end of this? Journey Jacob says, I've had success dissolving conformal coating with paint stripper. And yeah, that works on some sort. It would probably work on this particular one as well, some acetone stuff. But I don't want to dissolve any of it because that's just going to make a mess, and I don't want any acetone on this board. Well, you guys are completely out of focus again. Or you're just super low res. There we go, that looks good. Let's put some extra flux on there before we solder it. There we go. Now that's actually connected to the board. Don't like the look of that. Don't like the look of that. Don't like the look of that. I will make it look better using violence. There we go, fixed. Yep, that's fine. Dying sound. Ugh. Okay, so we're starting to get to the point where we should be dealing with a big dangling wire, this guy. I want to tie that down somehow. We could just drill a hole or something and zip tie it down. Yeah. If we just drill a hole there and there, and like there and there, like so, zip tie it, I think we're going to be fine. It doesn't have to be attached super duper well, just so much that there's no load on the solder joints. As long as there's no load on the solder joints, I'm happy. Tiny drill. Drill set and zip ties. Off-grid Aussie Prepper trademark is asking, you were thoroughly entertaining when you lost power, thank you. When are you going to fix your battery bank? At some point. When it's not like -2C in that room. I'm basically just waiting for summer, and I've been in touch with a bunch of telecoms, and I'm hoping to be able to source some new batteries for when I actually redo it properly. And I think I might move it to the boiler room instead of the half-8 side room that it's residing in right now. So we'll zip tie it there, I think. Because I actually have some space in the boiler room if I put my back to it, and the battery bank would probably be happier in the boiler room than basically outside where it is right now. That's a reasonably sized drill for that zip tie. And we can just barely manage to drill that hole between those two tracks. Excellent. Perfect. This is going to end up with me managing to drill through a trace, but that's fine. There's nothing with it. Ah, shit, yeah, there's... No, we can't do that actually, because there's a row of contacts here. Yeah, never mind that. Never mind, that's a horrible idea. That's gonna ruin everything. Good thing I noticed that. Well, I would have noticed in a moment anyway. Never mind that. That was the last second retreat for sure. So how are we going to solve that then? I guess we're just going to have to clean it up and tape it, or rather glue it in place. So we'll just wipe this down with some alcohol so the adhesive can attach. Off-grid Aussie Prepper says you need to make that room with a wood burner your bog out location and put a single bed in there. That's this particular room. Look, that's a wood burner back there. Now this room is not good for bogging out in because it's bloody cold. I have a 1.3 kilowatt heater running right now and it's 15C. The floor is less than that. Wish I had my rubber gloves. Alcohol burns my lily white skin. There we go. That's let's give it a bit more of a rub just to give it a chance of adhesion. Yeah, that's good enough. So once I glue this down, we're basically going to be done working on this board for today because it's going to have to set for quite a while. We're going to need some clamps. To clamp it down. Are these going to work? Yeah, they're going to work. We can pretty much let it flop there. We're going to have to put some adhesive in right about there to offload the solder joint. That's the important bit. Yeah, we don't need another clamp for that. Let's just get gooping. Off-grid Aussie Prepper says, yes, but it's a warm room when you're burning wood. And it's only during a power outage. This room doesn't get warm, even when I'm burning wood full force. Like, I can burn wood until the air is 28C, almost 30C of this level. Just underneath the table here, it's still like 15C. Because it's unisolated. Why am I using a Q-tip? I don't want a Q-tip for this. Like, this room in the winter is barely habitable. Even with the fire going. That might be an odd concept in sunny Australia, but during our winters, yeah, a cold room is a cold room. like every time I'm down here working, like I'm gonna go upstairs in a while, and I'm going to have physical pains in my legs because it's so cold here. Like, it is genuinely painful to sit in this cold working. That's probably in part because this room does heat up like a meter above the floor. It's warm, but anything below that, it's just bloody cold. I need to get clamps closer to the glue. Come on, stick down, damn you. I love white goopy stuff. So we can probably move this guy all the way over here, like so. And we'll put some glue down, then clamp it. Perfect. Yeah, we can just put a bit of extra along the length. Just a bit of extra. Extra white gooey stuff is always good. I get that some people might not get that, but it's personal preference. There we go. And we'll just put a dab right here at the end to offload the solder joint. And that's going to make it really annoying to fix that one broken trace, actually. Yeah, so never mind that, we'll just... Never mind. Let's get rid of that. We need to do that later, when we have the remaining parts for this. I just made my life a bit more difficult, I think. Oh well. Off-grid also prepper says, you must be at the frost level then. Well, yes, it's Finland, it's cold. Can't wait. He says, can't wait till you move the workshop upstairs. Indeed, I can't wait. I've been working very hard renovating upstairs. Spent about 12 hours this weekend just painting. I've just got a floor left to do, and then we can start moving the workshop upstairs, and that's going to be a very fun time. We get to design a completely new workshop and actually have heating in the workshop. Can you imagine such luxury? But yeah, we're pretty much done for the time being. I will let this set, and I'm going to return to this board once we have some parts for it. Want to replace the relays, want to replace a connector, fix the one broken track over the edge there. We've been doing this for 2 hours today. And 27 crazy people have been watching. Off-Grid Aussie Prepper says, I sure would like to see you renovating too. I have been filming some stuff, but it's not a proper renovation. It's mostly just a shit ton of tearing old stuff down and painting. But of course, the entire thing on time-lapse, I have like crazy amount of time-lapse of me just running around painting and tearing old ceilings down and stuff, so gonna have to figure out something to do with that. Jonah Jacob says, the wood stove needs fresh outdoor air to work, which is cold, unless you put a heat exchanger to heat the incoming air. That would be an interesting idea indeed, but huge, expensive project, requires copper, working, metalworking, not gonna happen. But yeah, we're done for today. Thank you all for watching, and make sure you enjoy yourselves.